What's going on, everybody? This is the Lone Star Vlogging Bear, coming to you live from an undisclosed location here deep in the heart of God bless Texas. This is my first vlog with my new vlogging camera, and I want to make it special. I want to take you and show you my collection of pro wrestling toys, specifically vintage toys from way back then, but some of them from today's generation. One huge important thing to know about me, ladies and gentlemen, as you get to know me, is that I am a lifelong fan of professional wrestling. And I feel like as a lifelong fan of pro wrestling, I knew that a year or so ago, I had to fully upgrade to a true level of fanatic. And because I have a passion for collecting toys, I have a passion for collecting things in general, well, I wanted to take up the level at a higher level as far as being a fan of pro wrestling goes. So, ladies and gentlemen, well, first thing I have to tell you is check out the hat. This is a Terry Funk hat. In some of the state of Texas, pro wrestling's always been huge in the Lone Star State. Of course, when people think of Texas wrestling legends, they think of the Von Erichs. But aside from the Von Erichs, there's also Terry Funk. Sadly, Terry Funk, I believe, passed away last year. Terry Funk, a true pioneer in the what's known as hardcore wrestling. Terry Funk. Unfortunately, I'm way too young to remember his days in his prime, but thankfully, I'm able to go back and watch a lot of the stuff that Terry Funk has done. We'll never forget that death match with Cactus Jack. Oh, yeah. Here's number one, my Terry Funk hat. Well, ladies and gentlemen, let's do this. All right, so here we go. Let's start. Check this out. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a Super WrestleMania on the Super Nintendo. This is the cartridge. I don't know if y'all can see it well. Again, my new vlogging camera, and this vlogging camera is not something expensive. It's something we would go ahead and start off with. There's that. Check this out. I've got my Mankind one spots. I've got a couple of N64 games. WCW with NWO World Tour. Here's WCW Backstage Assault. And unfortunately, WCW Backstage Assault is considered one of the worst pro wrestling games ever made. Now, I never had this game growing up. I never rented it, actually. As a matter of fact, I was thinking of going to Blockbuster to rent it, but a friend of mine told me that it was not worth it, and I never did rent it. I did briefly play it growing up, specifically when I was an adult, when I had an N64, when I bought one from an old friend. And I can also say that this game really did not do me any good. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Now we get to Sting. If you ask me, ladies and gentlemen, Sting is the greatest professional wrestler in history. And Sting is my favorite wrestler. Sting is an absolute icon, and everything that he's done for the business will forever live on. And I can't tell you how much Sting means to me personally. Sting is the best. To go down here, we got Hollywood Hulk Hogan, or just simply Hollywood Hogan. Now, mind you, these two things right here, this is from the late '90s. So these are vintage right here, the Hollywood Hogan and this thing. Now this is the AEW version. Now this is still something that's really, really cool, but this is not quite as much as this one. But anything with Sting, wrestling fans will certainly absolutely love. Go down here, well, I was talking about how WCW Backstage Assault was considered one of the worst wrestling games ever. Unfortunately, WWF Warzone also fits that category. Although it's really cool to have Stone Cold Steve Austin on the front cover, right? Speaking of pro wrestling video games, here's another one of my wrestling video games, WrestleMania Steel Cage Challenge. This is actually a remake, I believe, because the original version of WrestleMania Steel Cage Challenge was on the Super Nintendo. So this was actually something that came out, I believe this came out in 2018. I'm sure there's the year on it, and I'm sure I've looked at it. And of course, if you see the picture, we got Rowdy Roddy Piper, the Ultimate Warrior, the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase. Of course, these guys right here, the Ultimate Warrior, Roddy Piper, both are dead, rest in peace. And then we simply right here got Macho Man, The Undertaker, Bret the Hitman Hart, Razor Ramon, cool guy, Macho Man and Razor Ramon, Scott Hall, rest in peace. Man. Speaking of old school wrestling, I got a WWF plastic cage playsets. Now, this is not from way back in the day. This is actually something that came out also years ago. I think this came out anywhere between 2020 and 2022. This is definitely something that's a little bit nostalgic for me. I mean, the steel cage from way back then. Got Andre, Hulk Hogan, Bret Hart, and that's Mr. Perfect. And and as a kid, I did have one of these as a kid, one of these ring play sets. And the one thing about it that really bothered me is that these did not come with any action figures whatsoever. And I thought that was rather unpleasant. Going over here, another couple of my pro wrestling ring play sets. As a matter of fact, actually, I got these in the mail about 24 hours ago. These are one of the AEW authentic scale rings. I mean, this is a double or nothing version. And this one actually does come with an action figure. This one actually comes with a referee, Ref Aubrey. Look at that. It's on here, over 35 pieces. It's done, man, easy to assemble. Man, exclusive Aubrey Edward figure included. And this is the double or nothing version. You go down here, and here's my other one. This is just a regular AEW. I mean, this is Dynamite, but it's TMT. This one comes with Kenny Omega. And that's really, really cool. That's my son. And I bought these two together. I figured, why not? I might as well. Now, all these things I'm showing you, they're mainly investments, but they're also for personal fulfillment needs because, again, I'm a lifelong fan of pro wrestling, and I really enjoy collecting. And the wrestling rings don't end here. I mean, you want to see something really, really classic? Check this out. A WCW ring and cage set. Look at that. A Kmart special. So you know how old school this is. You can buy this at Kmart. Man, this thing was actually pretty pricey, but considering it's in excellent shape, I mean, this thing's from 1998. It's in excellent shape. It's got a tiny bit of damage. I don't know if you can actually see it right here. A little bit of damage right there. It's okay. Obviously, these right here, these do not work. But again, it's okay. But the coolest thing about it is that this one comes with a Sting action figure as well. Look at that. Look at that. What beautifully put. And I've seen many on eBay where the action figures are not positioned they're not positioned well. I'm like, you know what? I can't do it. I just can't. Moving on over here. Now you see this one right here. The WCW Smash and Slam wrestling ring. I actually had this one as a little kid. See, look how it has, it's got Hollywood Hogan. It's got Wolfpack Sting. It's got Goldberg. And for some reason, Goldberg is picking up a referee and it's about to throw him to the ground. I have no idea why. Of course, here we go. We've got Diamond Dallas Page. Well, somebody's getting ready to feel the bang. Unbelievable. That's so nostalgic. So I got this one I was 7 years old. I actually already had 3 WCW action figures before I got this. And when my mom got me this for my birthday, my brother was actually way more excited than me because, we finally did this so we can actually play with the action figures and pretend to actually be the wrestler. And my brother wanted to be Sting so bad, and he was actually convinced that this came with an action figure, but ultimately it didn't. So unfortunately, my brother was not too happy about it. But things ended up being okay. Now we get to my final pro wrestling. Actually, no, this is not my final pro wrestling ring set. This is my last AEW one, so I guess we could say that I've got 3 AEW rings. This one actually comes with a Cody action figure. This is Cody from AEW, and this is at the very beginning. Now, everybody knows how Cody has that neck tattoo. This action figure does not have the neck tattoo. So this actually came out before Cody got it. So I'm guessing this thing came out probably in early 2019 or maybe late 2018. Obviously, this came after AEW started, of course, to that the inaugural pay-per-view. I mean, you got Jericho versus Kenny Omega here in the ring. So let's quickly go back to these things. So here we go. We got the Young Bucks versus Santana and Ortiz. What's that? Santana and Ortiz, one of the best tag teams in AEW history, especially at the beginning. They were part of Chris Jericho's stable, the Inner Circle. Going down here, we got the Young Bucks as well. I mean, we got the Young Bucks and Chris Jericho taking on there's a Pentagon Jr. I mean, he's still on the Pentagon here in WWE, but we got Pentagon Jr., we got Ray Phoenix, they're both now in WWE. So basically, you got Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks, so that's the Elite. Got the Elite taking on Chris Jericho and the Lucha Brothers. How about that? So, not this one right here. And the video page and Chris Dip on the front of the Cody action figure. Going down here, I got some of my video games right here. I got WCW Thunder and WCW versus the World. Fortunately, I'm told WCW versus the World is also considered to be a portable video game, although I've never played it. I just like to think of it again. I like to play. It's finance that's kind of running me, but still, like, I gotta make that fulfillment again. I mean, these things aren't really worth anything. It's not like I mean, these are all like all the best things I have. I mean, these are just things to play. I mean, these only cost me $2. And here's actually my last. Oh, sorry about that. The screen went blank for a second. Here's actually my final wrestling link set right here. We got a total nonstop action wrestling impact. That's TNA Impact. Now called TNA Wrestling News. It was at the very beginning with NWA Total Nonstop Action, I believe. This one's actually very, very special. This is a NWA World Championship belt playset. I mean, check this out. This is like the original NWA World Title, the one that Ric Flair held, the late American Big Dusty Rhodes, Harley Race. So many of those legends helped that NWA belt. So this is a World Championship belt playset. And check this out. Open the belt buckle to reveal the hidden wrestling ring. And this thing is really, really cool. Now, I'll be honest with y'all, I was never really a TNA wrestling fan growing up, and I'm not much of one today, but I do follow it to the best of my ability. But what's cool is that this one comes with two little action figures. We got AJ Styles, the phenomenal one, who actually just got done wrestling John Cena today. First thing we also got Jeff Jarrett. So this one comes with AJ Styles and Jeff Jarrett. Oh, that's really, really cool. Oh, action figures right here, and I knew we got the late Mr. Brody Lee with the TNT World Title. And when Brody Lee passed away, I was utterly devastated because Brody Lee was just one of the most underrated wrestlers I've ever seen. I can't tell y'all how much I appreciate everything he did. And of course, the days in WWE, he was part of the Wyatt family. He was one of Bruce Harper. Here we got Hangman Adam Page with the AEW World Title, and this is a special full gear, a 6-issue with limited edition. So just about to see it. Full gear episode. Up here, I got here's Chris Jericho, the Painmaker version of Chris Jericho, and then we got the AEW Lionheart version of Chris Jericho. Oh, is that Lionheart? Yeah, Lionheart. Speaking of Lionheart Chris Jericho, I have a vintage one right here of WCW. I believe this was from 1997, 1998 or so. Chris the Lionheart Jericho. Look at that. Incredible. Here I got the Young Bucks. I mean, this is the Young Bucks from the Elite. So I think this is the babyface version. The Elite of the Young Bucks. They're not quite the same that they are today. The Young Bucks, they aren't quite the same. I mean, the Elite is I don't know what the good status of the Elite is. So right here I got Samoa Joe. He actually comes with a towel. Here we have Thunder Rosa. Thunder Rosa is one of my heroes in professional wrestling. She's one of the greatest female professional wrestlers of all time. Thunder Rosa, I absolutely admire her. Here we got Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. And this one's also a pay-per-view limited edition. Don't see this digger. And this one is a double or nothing version. Here we got Anna Jay. And this one is early on Anna Jay. I mean, this is when Anna Jay was part of the Dark Order. And what's interesting about this one, it actually includes a exclusive upper deck arm. So I'm not really sure exactly what to say about that, but that's I think it's really cool. But here, I mean, here we really got nostalgia. I mean, here we got Sting versus Hollywood Hogan. I mean, this is Starrcade 1997. Sting versus Hollywood Hogan for the WCW World Title. What's funny? That time right there, what's funny about it is that it didn't have NWO straight on it. So, yeah, Sting versus Hollywood Hogan, Starrcade 1997. You all know how that match turned out. I think that. Here's a little bit of here's my Attitude Era. Got Crash Holly, the Big Boss Man, and Mankind. Sadly, these two right here. Sadly, these two are no longer with us. It's very unfortunate. But Floyd Powers here, got Undertaker, and got Kane. Well, here I've got a little version of Kevin Owens. Here's some more of my old school wrestling video games. We got WrestleMania 2000 on the Game Boy Color, WWF No Mercy on the N64. Got a couple of Funko Pops. I got Vader, Razor Ramon, Roddy Piper, Rest the Hitman Hard. Set this side, I got down here. I got the Million Dollar Corporation, Ted DiBiase, the Million Dollar Man, and Furman R. Shyster, otherwise known as IRS. Check this out right here. The Rock versus Mankind. Now, this is not particularly the Rock and Sock connection. I mean, this is when the Rock and Mankind were having that legendary rivalry in late 1998, early 1999. We all remember that brutal I Quit match, don't we? Over here, I got the original Tribal Chief, Roman Reigns. Acknowledge them, ladies and gentlemen. Acknowledge your Tribal Chief. Special Funko skin of Hulk Hogan. There's actually something special. Sports Illustrated's Funko, but Sports Illustrated's pop Funko version of Hulk Hogan. This is the Hulk Hogan at the very beginning of Hulkamania. Last but not least, check it out. The New World Order. NWO for life, ladies and gentlemen. NWO for life. Ladies and gentlemen, I wanted to give y'all another close-up of this Super Nintendo wrestling game that I have. It's called Super WrestleMania. Got, of course, Hulk Hogan, Macho Man Randy Savage. I'm not quite sure who that is in the very middle, but, the end process licensed by Nintendo. Yeah, the Super Nintendo. Super WrestleMania. Yeah, I cannot tell y'all who's on it. I'm going to be honestly not sure. But, ladies and gentlemen, once again, we better look at everything that happened in regards to pro wrestling. Now, I do have some more stuff that some of them are actually packed away in storage. But everybody's able to get a good book. I hear that my Mankind Lunchbox, the WCW F64 games right here. Like two of my AEW ring stats. All the stuff with Brett Aubrey and the other stuff with Mega. But my NWO Hollywood Hogan right here. Got two of my stick certificates right here. Got the basic one right here. I got AEW things right there. All my WMF 4 song, WCW WrestleMania, Steel Age Challenge. That ring bell right here. Oh yeah. That's a movie, what a good thing. Absolutely, just right here, look at that. Well, I have to fuck with pink jacket. Got that belt, everything. Look at that. Look. The NWO down here, Kevin Nash, Scott Hall, Oliver Hogan. And that's that. Two of these guys were no longer with us. Rock and Mankind, Money Incorporated, all that. The Ripple Rival City. Got my attitude on right here. Got the Luke R4, Crash Holly. Got the Big Boss Man. You know what's funny about the Big Boss Man? That this actually thing that's not fun to sunglass. Yeah, you have to sunglass for the reaction, but it's a sit back. It's a fun to clap. Interesting. We got the Mankind one from the Soft, Dato. So the last right here. That is second. One from the fire. On the other. Back up like game. Boy, power right here. Like the little lady worth the thing. 60. Color thing. That. Well, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. My collection of vintage pro wrestling toys. Not only vintage, but also from the modern day generation. Now, like I said, I actually have more, but they are packed away in storage. Now, I do plan on continuing to collect in the foreseeable future, but I got to be very, very careful because I'm obviously, well, financially things are certainly not going for the best. So I think it's just lately I've done a lot of shopping, and since I'm actually about to travel, I think now is the time to take a break. But there's probably one thing I'll actually purchase before I officially go on break for purchasing. But I hope that you enjoy seeing my very first vlog of my new vlogging camera. Ladies and gentlemen, leave your thoughts down below in the comments. Are you a fellow pro wrestling fan as well? Let me know if you have a collection of pro wrestling toys as well, or any memorabilia of your own, or if you just like to talk pro wrestling in the comments. Well, ladies and gentlemen, have at it because I love to communicate with all the loyal watchers, all the loyal followers. Thank y'all very, very much. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank y'all very, very much. Well, have a good one. And God bless NWO for life. See you soon. Goodbye, everyone.